Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first Skin Game Judges Insight discussion panel. My name is Kelly Wolcott. I serve as your Director of Judges for the Skin Games. I help to coordinate and oversee the scoring process for all of the competitions. And I'm so excited to be moderating today's panel discussion. And the series, it's a great opportunity to hear directly from our judges, some of the most knowledgeable and experienced professionals in our industry. And today we've got judges from two of our categories, compassion and facial massage. The panel is divided into two segments. We'll start with compassion category. We'll do introductions, and a Q&A, and that will be followed by a short transition into the facial massage category. And each segment will begin with prepared questions that our judges will answer, followed by Q&A. We'd like you to please type your questions if you have them in the chat, and we'll ask them of our judges. So drop them in that chat, use that chat. We would also like to remind everybody that the session is being recorded and it'll be uploaded to the Skin Games YouTube channel. So if you miss anything, you can revisit the discussion later. You can share it with the people who missed out, and you are able to absolutely learn and grow and get to know some people, make some great connections tonight. So we're going to start with the compassion category. We have Geraldine O'Brien and Holly Brown. So, Holly, would you mind introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I'm Holly Brown. I'm from Massachusetts, and I run a nonprofit called Looking and Feeling Fab, and we exclusively treat skin side effects from cancer treatment. So we've been doing this about 8 years. We have 7 locations in Massachusetts, one in California, Illinois, and Arizona. And I became involved in the compassion category about 9 years ago.
Wow. Wow. How long have you been a licensed esthetician?
About 10 years.
10 years. Okay. All right. Great. Geraldine, we would love to hear a little bit about your journey in the beauty industry and about yourself.
So my name's Geraldine O'Brien. I am a three-time cancer survivor is what drove me to be an esthetician. And I work mostly with oncology patients. So in 2020, entered the Skin Games in the compassion category, very much out of my comfort zone. And I won first place. So, it brought my just everything to a new level is how I met Holly. And the following year, I came to pass on the trophy to the new winner, and I think it was a snowstorm, and a few judges couldn't make it there, so I stepped in as a judge and have been a judge ever since for the compassion category.
Oh, nice. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah. So
I did not know that. That's really cool.
yeah, so I've been an esthetician for about 15 years. I actually changed a career in my 50s, became an esthetician when my full-time job went part-time. And just what led me to there was a lot of different things, being involved in the cancer community. So happy to be here. Thank
Well,
you.
we are so glad to have you and your expertise. So, Holly, I'm going to start this with you. What inspired you to become a judge for the Skin Games, and how has the experience impacted your perspective on the beauty industry?
Yep. So Debbie Fink, who has had run the category for a long time, sadly has stepped down this year, but she was actually won the first season of the Skin Games, and then the second season she was asked to create the compassion category. So I had met her at an event, and she called me knowing that I run the nonprofit and asked me if I would help her to write the compassion category, which I was honored, so I did. And in doing that, she asked me to be a fellow judge of hers. And so I definitely jumped on the chance, and I'm so glad that I did it. It's totally changed my whole career and getting to know a lot about the beauty industry that I don't feel like I would have had opportunity, as well as people who are significant in the skincare industry. And I feel that the Skin Games has been amazing for the skincare industry. I think that the Skin Games brings a lot of light to different areas that people may not necessarily know exist in the skincare industry. And so it really goes to show how many different areas there are that you can become involved in, and how you can put your knowledge and your expertise into doing something that maybe nobody else has thought about. So my nonprofit was a first in the beauty care industry. And so I like to say that I hope can mentor other people to follow in my footsteps. And it's just been a great journey, and I owe a lot of that to the Skin Games.
Wow. Wow. Woo. It gives me chills. That's beautiful. Sarah says it's beautiful, and that is really something where you think that it's a competition and that it's just a competition, but it's not. It is so much more than that. And I know that just my brief time serving as a judge, just getting to know you, it's enriched my life and everyone that you touch. It's crazy. It's crazy. Actually makes me tear up, actually.
Well, I
Okay.
love it. And I remember in the beginning when I first got involved, everybody's like, what are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? I'm like, I do this for myself. And I'm so glad that I stuck with that and that I stuck with it because it has made me grow so much. And for those that don't know anything about me, I have multiple sclerosis. I've had it for 24 years and I'm doing amazing. And it's because of the support system from the people that I've met at the Skin Games and the relationships that I built that helped me to keep going. So I can't even express in words how much it has really helped me. But like I said, I did it for myself, and I'm glad that I did because it has really helped me and put my life and my challenges in perspective.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really, and it allows, I think, this connection and the networking that happens at the live event, it allows us to realize that we're not alone. We're not just in these dark treatment rooms doing stuff all day long with that, and there's impact and purpose, and we see that. You see that when you get to talk to other people in the industry. Okay, I'm gonna pull myself together now. Okay, what do you see as the biggest misconception about your area of expertise and how do you address it?
So yeah, so I think that for me the biggest challenge is that there is a stigma with the beauty and spa industry, and I feel like people in America look at it as if it's a luxury. And so when you talk about somebody who is undergoing treatment for cancer that's suffering, that really it affects their quality of life and it causes pain, itchiness, the skin splits, and to try to put that into people's head of what a necessity it is, I think is the biggest challenge. And so I really try to use what I've learned from my clients and stories that we've had and how we've helped people to really drive it home so that people understand that the spa industry and skincare treatments aren't just a luxury. It is a necessity, particularly when somebody's skin has become compromised or they're going through a serious issue, and it can make a world of difference for somebody who really is in the struggle of a lifetime.
Yes, yes, agreed. I love that. Whew, I don't even know what to say to that. I think that it's more than just people who are suffering or having challenges with health. It is just all around. The skin is our largest organ, and to take care of it before you have a compromising illness or anything like that. And people we need touch. Brenda's talking about touch. She says touch is huge and a world of difference. Touch, skin to skin, it's healing. It's a healing modality, things that we do. And one of the things that I wish we would adopt from more of a European or perspective is people go and they get their dentist, they get their doctor, and they get their esthetician. It is just part of their healthcare and self-care routine, and it's important.
And that we bring so much light and healing to so many people whose lives are disrupted, whether it's a natural disaster or they get hurt on the job, or maybe they're just sad and maybe they've had it tough going. Life is hard. And so we, through our touch, bring so much light and healing and positivity to people that I don't think a lot of people realize the power that they have as an esthetician.
Right, absolutely. And the impact. It's
Mhm.
far much more reaching than just a superficial skincare treatment. It truly is. It truly, truly is. Oh, thank you for that.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing, Holly. Geraldine, in your opinion, what positive changes or advancements has the Skin Games brought to the beauty industry, not just for professionals, but for clients?
Well, for many years, I was watching all the case studies. I was watching, following the compassion category, trying to get the nerve to do it for many years. And I just thought, I don't think many estheticians ever realize the power they have. And like you're talking about, bringing hope to the aesthetics room, which I think we have this big power to do because so many people are struggling with challenges and different things. But like we talk about, our touch can have so much effect. I mean, yes, I work mostly with cancer patients, but I tell you, I see like when you watch these case studies, there is so much power in from week 1 to week 8. I mean, watch some of them and just see the transformation, not only the esthetician becoming more confident, but watching the client, you know, how happy she is with what was achieved. I mean, putting that smile on their face, watch all those videos, and there's always a big smile on week 8, usually. But I think the Skin Games has brought that to the big attention of our field. And I mean, just the connections, the networking we meet, and the people who, like us, like Holly and I in the compassion, like we are in that room and we're like, wow, people need to know about all these people. The power that beyond our struggles and what these estheticians are doing in the compassion category is amazing. This year we have some amazing, different, just so many different levels of things that I don't think we've ever had before, some nonprofits. It's going to be really fun. And what we do on Saturday morning before the big event is we have a breakfast. We started this, we've had it 2 years now with all those who are competing, because we would have loved to give money to everybody because they all deserve it. But when they get to meet each other, they're supporting each other that night. I mean, we found that, they get to each tell their story, what they do, and everybody becomes friends. And that has been really powerful. And I think it helps all these estheticians when they leave that room, whether they are going to win that night, they're all winners. And I see that in all the categories, just the power the Skin Games has on, the esthetician and their clients. I mean, it's especially like the acne category, that can change people's lives so much. When someone has lived with acne for their whole lives, I mean, that is very, very hard to, it's another challenge like Holly talks about with cancer patients. They shouldn't have to live like that. And that's the same with acne and all those different categories. But I see.
And if I can just add one thing to that as well. And I think that when we were doing the interviews early on in the compassion category, one thing that we heard about was a lot of people didn't have a lot of support, and that
Mhm.
they were doing these great things and that they felt alone. And
Yeah.
so that was another reason why we decided to implement the breakfast, because we said, hey, not only do the panel of judges have mentoring capabilities and, expertise, but they can help each other. And so we need to build a support system. And so we ask everybody in the compassion category to recognize what great things everybody else is doing and to support that. And the past few years that's happened, and it's just amazing.
It really is. And you know what? I'm always surprised that there's not more people in that category, because I know so many estheticians doing, and sometimes we do like to do things privately, but I encourage all estheticians to give back in some way. Something you've struggled with or something you've had a challenge with. Just once a month, give a facial to somebody who you know is struggling. Just reach out to them. Hey, come on in. They can't afford it or something. And I think it makes your life different and getting involved in your community in many ways.
Mhm.
The last couple of years, I've done an event called A Day of Hope and Healing, and it's been really powerful. So I think so many, whatever you're struggling with, could use a day like that.
True, true. And I think you're right. Building that network and that
Mhm.
community, strengthening these bonds, you will find that when you come to the live event, you you will find people that share in the same struggles, the same wins, the same
Mhm.
everything, same frustrations, same victories, and you're not alone. You
Yeah.
just you just aren't. And our clients are beautiful human beings, but they're not in our chair. They're not behind the table doing all the things and trying to make sure that the fact that I just fell off the back of my chair doesn't interrupt their facial treatment in any way, shape, or form, or whatever's going on. And you can find a community that just is unparalleled to anything else out there.
For sure. Yeah.
And on top of that, we all understand that these players are putting themselves out there and asking to have their work evaluated, stuff that
Mhm.
is so sacred to them. And I think all of you, having been players or having struggled with things in life, understand what a great um, responsibility you have as judges to make sure that these players are being acknowledged and seen, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
So then, Geraldine, what motivated you to specialize in your chosen area of expertise? You kind of answered that a little bit, but you can maybe expand on it. And
Yeah.
what continues to drive your passion in this field?
When I was only 42 years ago, 27 years ago, I was diagnosed with my first cancer. So, I entered menopause from chemotherapy. Was struggling with, different issues of how, I had a teenage daughter and I had a 9-year old son, and I just wanted to live for them. So I had to really seek out healing my body, mind, and soul, because the doctors were curing or hoping to cure my cancer. And, I just needed something. I found a study to be in for the benefits of yoga for cancer patients. And I entered that study, which turned into bringing us over to a nonprofit that was opening a cancer center, and started taking all kind of classes there. I became a Reach to Recovery volunteer, and so many people had questions on that personal side. They said, my doctors, I'm embarrassed to tell them. I don't like this aging. I don't like all these skin troubles, but I'm embarrassed to tell him these things. And so the cancer center I was involved in did all kind of integrative and complementary services, but the only skin class they had was more makeup. And so my full-time job became part-time. In 2010, I became an esthetician in my 50s, just to really work with cancer patients. And so it's so nice being at a cancer center, because that's where I see there's always, I guess how you say, like, moving forward, and what drives me is I can refer them to a counselor, a nutritionist. I can refer them to get a massage or anything that's going to complement their medical, what they're getting outside of our center. And it's a beautiful place. Holly was just there not that long ago. And I
Mhm.
wish every state had one of these because they're pretty amazing for cancer patients. So you can come and get your mind and soul and body, healed beyond the treatment you're getting medically. And with all the side effects, like Holly talks about, not only skin side effects, but emotional side effects.
Mhm.
Or, there's counselor and your nutrition. People want to be healthier, but they've maybe lived not such a healthy life. And now you've got a diagnosis of cancer. How do you do that? So like, even approaching my 70th year now, I'm like, when do I retire? Maybe some things I'll retire, but I know I'm still making an impact on them, and that's what drives me, to keep on going as much as I can.
Oh, wow. What state are you in?
Illinois.
Illinois.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm actually one of Holly's locations, but I am closing my spa in March. So Holly's not too happy with losing her Illinois location. We'll find another one for her. But I still be doing, working at the cancer center and that. So yeah.
Oh,
So
Julio says Chicago in the house. I like that.
who says that?
Julio says Chicago in the house.
I don't know. Yes.
He's one of our judges. So I
Oh, okay.
think he
So I'm
is. He's
in
one of
Aurora.
our
Aurora, Illinois is where the cancer center I work at. We actually have I think there's about five in the Chicagoland area of these nonprofits that cancer patients can go to all free of charge.
oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love
so we're
that.
we're run by grants and donations, and that's what drove me to hand them a $10,000 check was like amazing. And I think the skin games of that's what I love to be involved and to give back to them, because to be able to hand the cancer center $10,000 from the skin games was amazing.
Uh,
No, it was during COVID, all our fundraising had stopped, and yeah, one of the foundation guys, I had one of those big checks that said $10,000, and I brought it there. And so he's like, "Do you have the real check?"
like it's here, I promise.
Yeah, like, okay, it's been fun taking the pictures with that big check, but can we have the
And now
real?
one of the rooms in the centers will live in Geraldine's name in infamy.
Oh, Geraldine.
Yeah.
See,
So they
see.
did, yeah, they did the spa room in my honor. So I said, well, when I pass away, well, let's say in memory of, but they didn't.
Can you all, before we move on to the Q&A section, can you tell everyone a little bit about the cash prizes for the compassion category?
Holly, you want to go with that or?
Sure. So we actually have two different categories for the compassion category. So you can enter and play for a nonprofit 501(c)(3), or you can enter as your own personal give back if you fund your own acts of compassion. And so what we do is we award first and second prize in both categories. The people who play for a nonprofit, it tends to be a little bit more just because it's going to an official 501(c)(3). But we do give two monetary prizes. So last year, I think we gave for people who played for a nonprofit 10,000 and 5,000 for second prize. And then for people who played personally for themselves, we gave 3,000 and 1,500. So yeah,
Wow.
both categories, both sections do get monetary prizes.
Wow. And then when does everything have to be submitted
Yep,
if you
by the
wanted to enter?
15th. Yep, by the 15th of January.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yep, and there's just a questionnaire to answer and then videos that you need to do and then just submit them. But it doesn't the range of what you can be doing to give back, it does not matter. So if you're I mean, we've had a number of different cases. We've had, people who clean up oceans, and we've had people who work with domestic violence people who work with homeless shelters. So no matter what you're doing, if the cause is near and dear to your heart, we honor that. And so there's no limitation as to what you can be doing.
And then does the nonprofit have to be the player's nonprofit, or can they enter on
Nope.
behalf of a nonprofit?
Yep,
Okay,
they can enter on behalf of a nonprofit, or if they have their own nonprofit, they can enter as well.
nice, nice. Okay, and then there's one more chance to raise money for the compassion category, correct? There's an upcoming auction on Facebook on February 2nd. And so there's a lot of great deals. Come out and support that. You all are, here's a shameless plug. February 2nd on Facebook. They're having, I think is it the last auction before the live event?
Yeah, it should be. Yep.
Okay, perfect, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to open the floor up to our attendees. If you all have any specific questions you would like Geraldine or Holly to answer, type them in now. I'll scroll up through and see if we've got any prior. Taylor, did you see any?
No, I don't see any.
There's still
Oh,
time
there
to
was
enter. You
one
haven't
about
every.
kind of the format for it. So, do you guys want to describe like the 5 videos? Is that something we can do, Kelly?
I think that that information, if you guys want to briefly do that, we can do that. Or if you go to
I
the
did as well
website,
link it.
all the information is there. So I think, the link here would be probably easier
Yeah,
to.
it's 5 1-minute videos and it describes it all in the rules under compassion.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's a questionnaire
yeah.
that you fill out and then you submit 5 1-minute videos.
Mhm.
And then at the live event, there is an interview, right? And it's a 30-minute interview,
Yeah, 30.
Yep.
30
Yeah, 30
with a
minutes.
panel of
That'll be on Friday.
on
Friday,
Friday.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. When isn't that when the judges? Friday?
And
yes.
the other
And
thing, Kelly, that I want people to know is I know Geraldine's not going to toot her own horn, but she's phenomenal in helping answer questions, get people to be sure they have all the proper videos and paperwork in, as well as share her experience with people and make sure that they're doing it right. So if you need any confidence, I believe she even has a bloopers reel that she'll share with people that is hysterical. Like I still watch it because it just if I'm having a bad day, it makes me laugh like crazy.
I know
But
I have
she
friends that say they watch the blooper video when they're depressed.
But Geraldine is amazing at if you have questions, if you have the jitters, if you don't not sure what you're supposed to be doing, she's amazing, and that's what she prides herself on, helping people to get the videos in and get the essays done. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to her, or you can reach out to me and I can connect you with her. But we're here to help any way we can.
Yeah, I'll give you a phone call too. If you have if some I know a lot of videos aren't in yet or anything that you need. Yeah, or if you just want a question about entry, maybe for next year.
love it.
And I saw somebody posted about starting a 501(c)(3), and I've actually written 7 nonprofits and done the whole paperwork and help people successfully start them. So if anybody needs help with a nonprofit or has questions or anything, not that I know everything about running a nonprofit, but I learned a lot and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm happy to help prevent people from making the same stupid mistakes that I made. And so please feel free to reach out to me, and I will definitely be willing to help you out.
Holly's been great with people who have entered in self-funding. saying, telling them, like at the skin games, hey, you need to be a nonprofit. And she has helped many people from the skin games.
Perfect. Terry says she's working on setting up a 501c3, Terry Berry, and she's going to reach out to you. And Brandy
Absolutely.
says she highly recommends watching your blooper reel. Where does it live?
Liz or Jennifer shared it one time on Facebook, but it was living privately until it got up. Oh,
We may
Brandy,
have to
did you say
repost that.
Brandy?
Somebody needs to put that back on the top of somebody's feed there.
So funny.
It's pretty.
So, I do have a couple questions that we'd like for you all to answer. I'm going to read it and you all can either both answer it or one of you can take it. It's whatever you'd like. We've seen powerful stories come through the skin games. Is there a particular player's journey or outcome that stands out to you and highlights what this category is about?
I'll go first, Geraldine. So I think one thing that really stood out to me was there was a girl who played for a charity that gave beds to people. Like, we don't realize how important a bed is, and how we don't even realize that, or at least I didn't, that people don't have beds. Kids don't have beds to get proper treatment, proper sleep. They're sleeping on the floor, and this charity was amazing that gave them funded beds for people. Maybe they had multiple children and they all could get their own bed. And I just thought, wow, here's something that you really kind of take for granted, and you don't think of what an important aspect it is in people's lives. And so I think maybe that's one of the ones that sticks out. Another one was a girl who herself had suffered and grew up in shelters, and then was giving back to shelters like they had given back to her, and she just had an amazing story, and was and her to meet her in person and hear her tell her story in person was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It's
Geraldine,
really true when they say you don't know what people are going through.
you
Yeah,
don't,
you
you really
really,
don't.
yeah, that's so true. And that bed one was so interesting, the way she brought in statistics on people who don't sleep, these young kids so that was pretty amazing. There's so many of them that are really touched my heart, but there was one who was a cancer survivor who pretty much was just about done with treatment, and already during her treatment, Tiffany, who started Tiff's chemo bags. I mean, during her treatment, again, it was somebody who was kind to her. She knew that she wanted to pass on to somebody else. And I think in all of our struggles and sorrows, when I think that helps all of us when we're giving back and helping others, it helps us. And I know it was pretty powerful, I think, in her recovery.
Wow.
And she's doing amazing things, so there's so many like that stories. And this year, of course, every year that there's been many, and there was one that was an eating disorder, with somebody who had a child who had an eating disorder. And I thought that was very powerful, though she didn't win. There's so many that just leave impacts on our lives. And this year we have some great ones too that, I think you'll all see them as the videos come out, but a lot of different things that you wouldn't acknowledge. And that's what I love about every year. It brings people out that are getting a little more courage to tell their stories. And the skin games, I think, has helped that.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Oh, you guys are gonna make me cry again. Okay. There's more to the skin games than just winning. How do you think entering the compassion category helps contestants grow personally and professionally, regardless of the outcome? I think we kind of covered some stuff, but are there any specific things?
Yeah, again, just reinforce, all of our judges are always willing to help and share our expertise as well as fellow contestants. And so if you're doing good and you're giving back and you say, maybe somebody else would want to team up with me, or just give you support and say, hey, I've experienced this, have you experienced that? And just to run things by somebody, and throw ideas with somebody. It just creates an awesome group, and people stay in touch, and it just helps for people to be able to give back even more. And so it is way more rewarding than just winning a prize. Whether you win or not, you still get the support and the help and the ideas. And even if you need help, you don't know how to go about implementing what you want to do to give back, we can help you. We've heard hundreds of stories of how people have done it. And when you have a will, there's a way. And so if, we're happy to help.
Yeah, for sure. And I think people doing the videos makes them realize the impact they are having on others too, because they're doing these videos and, each one covers a little something different. And I think it gives them more confidence, like I am making a difference in somebody's lives. So that's really, I love to see that. I love when their confidence by the end of the skin games is risen to a level, even if they don't win. It's just up there, knowing that they've made some connections. And with the skin, we have some wonderful skin lines that are connected to the skin games that
Yes, we do.
extremely generous to, not only the auctions of the skin games, given how they raise money, but giving to all these charities and, helping all these people. They are amazing. I mean, you couldn't have done it. I'm working at a nonprofit, your budgets are limited, and people in our industry have been extremely generous, and I'm really grateful.
Yes, I think we are a giving industry, and it comes through a lot.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah, it
does.
really does. Yeah.
So, back to segue into this next question, in our industry, compassion comes through in unexpected ways. Can you share a moment that really stuck with you where a compassionate act made a lasting impact on you and a client, you and or a client?
Can I take that one? So recently I had a gentleman in Missouri reach out to me and applied for our program in California. And I was confused. And when I reached out to him, I said, I'm confused why you would want to be seen in California when you live in Missouri. And he said to me, oh, I'm sorry, I am at my wit's end. He said, I have radiation burn all over my face. And my 6-year-old daughter told my wife she was afraid to come near me. And I'm completely broken. And I cried in my doctor's office, and they told me to go and buy some lotion. And I'm just at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. And so we ended up helping him. I said, oh, we can treat you virtually. I don't expect anybody unnecessarily put money, which, is under a financial burden, into traveling. And we were able to help him. And about maybe 3 weeks into it, he said his wife said, his daughter went over to his wife and said, wow, dad's looking really handsome. And so that to me was like the final meeting we had with him, and we looked at all the pictures and how much he had changed. Was like, I literally like got off of the Zoom call like with tears in my eyes, because I was like, here's a guy that was willing to fly to California because his daughter was afraid of him because of the burns he had on his face. And like just being able to help, that was like amazing.
That's huge.
That's great, Holly. That's beautiful.
That's huge.
I think,
Okay,
yeah.
last question. Compassion goes beyond a category, as you all have, shared with us tonight. It's a mindset, right? And we are givers. If you are in this industry, if you are a service provider, you are a giver. So what are some ways that beauty professionals can weave compassion into their client interactions, services, and their overall business approach?
I think I think is bringing hope to the aesthetics room. Like I talked about picking somebody once a month to give a service to. And I think that expands on what they can do and the power they have, and connect with other estheticians in your area. Connect to doing for other people, for your spa, and just so much out there, and so many estheticians do have that compassion in them, and they want to give back, but they just don't know how to get started on it. And I think just picking somebody, you'll maybe see an article, or you'll see something, maybe it's a mom trying to raise 3 kids by herself, and there's so many homeless shelters and things. Go do a skin class there. Do something once. If you don't want to do it once, do something once a quarter, or come volunteer at, I always have volunteer opportunities. I invite estheticians to because I think that's another way, is to see people less fortunate than you, because we all have our struggles. But just think about if you are given some kind of diagnosis and you're just trying to move forward. And I think that helps other estheticians, is to go visit other places that are less fortunate, and do a skin class, do a, maybe just a hand treatment, or just go and, try to get involved in a lot of different in your community.
And I think another thing is go out and attend community events that they're having in your community. They're always advertising different community events, and just go out and talk to people and let them know what you do. And before you know it, somebody has an issue that you go, wow, that's in my wheelhouse. I can certainly help you. My husband's retired police officer, and one of his fellow police officers had fallen and cut his skin all up, and they didn't know what to do. And they knew my husband, and that I was an esthetician, reached out to me, and we sent him some stuff to help him heal. Another lady who runs the Cops for Cancer reached out to me, and actually her mother was having skin issues. So just be present in your community, and introduce yourself to people, and talk to people about how you might be able to help them, and they might be able to help you. And I always think of a statistic that recently came out that shows that the next generation coming up really chooses places to spend their money and to support if they give back. And so that is another interesting thing. So just be present in your community, and put yourself out there, and let people know that you're willing to help. And and maybe you can fill a gap somewhere that it's needed, or like Geraldine said, help somebody that might be less fortunate than you, that people are down and out, feel nobody cares about them. Hey, come on in and let me give you a little mini facial, and you'll be amazed at how much it will make them feel as well.
I get a lot of estheticians sometimes too calling me, who are diagnosed with cancer and sort of don't know like how to move forward. They have, I always tell them if they live in my area, to come for a tour. Not that I want them to work with cancer patients, but just to also see our center, that they could be, receiving services. But a lot of times when something like that tragic happens to you, you kind of want to implement some kind of give back into your spa. And I've seen a lot of estheticians who, after being diagnosed, will put something else into their spa.
Well, I love that. That's a perfect ending to our compassion judges insight. I love this. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you both for doing this, and for showing up and giving us your time.
And I'll put my email in the chat, and feel free for anybody to email me, or if they have questions about anything. I love connecting with people and love helping people. That helps me. So anything I can do for anyone, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, put mine there too, Holly.
Yeah, that's perfect. Beautiful. So we're
Well,
going
thank
to
you guys so
transition.
much. This was really,
Oh,
really heartfelt, really
thank you.
wonderful. I look forward to seeing you guys at the Skin Games in just
Mhm.
Oh, you
2
too. Thank
months.
you. Thank you for both of you, all you do too.
Oh, thank you.
Kelly and
We
Taylor.
appreciate it.
And Jen, she's in there somewhere in the background.
She is. She's there. So we're going to transition to our second category.
Okay, can we stay on
For
and listen?
today.
You just push us off, right?
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yes. Yeah.
I just
There
put
you
up.
go.
Okay.
Facial massage. It's an essential skill in the beauty industry today, and we're here with two judges that are experts in this area. So joining us for the facial massage portion of our panel discussion tonight, we have Zen Miller. Zen, welcome. Please introduce yourself and share what inspired you to pursue a career in massage and aesthetics.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zen Miller, and I'm coming to you tonight from Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm really glad you're here. So nice to see everyone. So I have a holistic spa in Jacksonville, and I completely embrace the whole holistic lifestyle. My career originally started with fitness, and that led me into massage. And I had done massage for like a decade or so. And I realized I didn't realize what I was touching. Like I understood the bones and the structures and the joints and the ligaments and the tendons and everything, but I didn't know what I was touching. So that it was just kind of a progression. I just wanted to learn more and more and more about the body. And so that's how I got started. And I mean, I'm not even close to stop learning, but yeah, I love it. All of it. Everything about the body I love. I'm obsessed.
Yes, and your passion shines through.
I
And I
know it's
love
ridiculous.
it. I love your energy and everything. And we also have one of my mentors, by the way. I don't think a lot of people know that here in the Skin Games, but Elaine Sterling has been a mentor of mine since she walked into a networking event that I was at in the middle of Lake Lanier and just said, "Hi, I'm Elaine, and I am here basically to take over the aesthetic world in Atlanta." And by golly, this woman has. I am so
Wow.
happy you are here. Tell
Thank
us a little bit
you.
about your background and what excites you about our industry.
Well, I actually started out as a massage therapist. So I went to school in South Africa and we had no choice. We had to do, at the time, nails, massage, and aesthetics together. I have to tell you, I was a terrible nail technician. My acrylics were kind of like that. But I was fabulous at massage. And I thought, I was doing theatre at the time, and I thought, okay, if I don't make it as a star, darling, well, I could do the makeup, the theatrical makeup, right? But as you go through the program, as many people do, I found that my skills were really good. And so I became an esthetician, and I was working as a massage therapist. And then, so of course, with all my country and western songs, I ended up, they're my ex-husbands and all my drama. I ended up in Atlanta. So I own a school in Atlanta, but I always say I am I'm a therapist. I'm a technician first, absolutely. Before I'm an instructor and before I, own a school. So, and I really believe that being a massage therapist really helped my aesthetic skills, and how when I came to Atlanta, I came after the Olympics '98, but I started 2000. Working as a massage therapist and esthetician, and I just realized how that incredible massage, as well as that first and second cleanse, how important it was to the service. And that is the reason why people come back. I always say that, the advertising and the marketing and the PR and the flashy, whatever, can bring you in once, but it's your hands that bring you back. And I want to say the facial massage category is just, I think, one of my favorites, because it's, massage is kind of like a dance. It's very theatrical, and you're able to really allow yourself to shine. And I think that my facial massage is pretty good, I'm going to say. But when I saw the level and the quality of the technique, last, when Zen pulled me into, I don't know what I was doing, but anytime anybody asks you to do something, I say yes. And I don't know what I'm putting myself into, but I was totally blown away by the level of technique. And Joseph, who won, who's on here this evening, I follow him and I worship him actually. And when I grow up, I want to be him, because I have never seen such incredible technique that he has. And I'm so glad that he's sharing his knowledge with so many people, because it can only make us better therapists.
Right.
This is what the Skin Games is doing. It's making us better therapists. It's making us dig deeper, which Kelly, you and I know through the iTech and Sedesco, that's what they always want us to do, is dig deeper, right? So the Skin Games, the participants are they have to dig deeper, and they're competing, against their peers, but we're learning from. Oh, Joseph, I tell all of my students to go follow you. Anybody that wants to learn something, I say, Joe's the man. He's the man. That's
Okay,
it.
Joe, drop your socials. Drop your socials in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna we're gonna move on to our pre-selected questions. So then I'm gonna start with you. What motivated you to specialize in your chosen area of expertise, and what continues to drive your passion in this field?
Well, what I love doing is creating modalities. So I take my background from fitness, from massage, and from skincare, and I love blending all of these worlds together and creating brand new techniques all the time. So for massage, I do Lomi Lomi, and I thought, how can I create a Lomi Lomi facial? And I do it, or a hot stone facial, or a gua sha facial, or a cupping facial, so that it mimics that or goes completely with the body work. So my brain is just never stopping new creations, new ways to dance around the face and create changes and sculpt and contour. And so yeah, so that's, I mean, honestly, I wake up for that. It's just so fun. My clients love me because I'm always like, hey, you guys, I need a model. I'm creating a new technique. And so it's just fun. I really do enjoy everything about the field. But teaching, like when you go to school, I tell everybody you're only as good as your massage instructor. So I really love kind of filling in those spots. So let me teach you something new that's going to feel incredible and be so effective on your clients. And everything I do is also, it's not based on any product. So everything I do can be used with every product. And so I just like giving people alternative modalities to really wow their clients from a holistic point of view using their hands.
Right. I think one of the things that gets lost in all the glitz and the glam with all of the access that our clients have to technology and modalities, I think the fact that our hands are our number one tool gets a little bit lost behind the next gadget that comes out, or the next, not just lasers, but even just microcurrent and light therapy and all those things. They have their place, but your hands, I feel like, are your number one tool, and they're the most important
100%.
tool in delivering a really good, effective treatment for our clients. So I like that. I like that about
Well,
you.
it's just a completely different, unique way to feel the body. Like with the tool, you're not going to be telling them about their lymph nodes or where they're having knots or where there's, adhesions into their skin or fascia. So yeah, the skins are just going to give you a different story than any tool or toy.
Agreed. What are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned throughout your career as a skincare professional?
Oh, this is easy. Do not buy the tools or the toys and invest in your hands. That's a no-brainer every single time. That is how the people are going to come back. They're gonna remember your hands. They're not going to remember, the products that you used or the tools, but they're going to remember the way you made them feel. That's what people want, right? And that's what your hands do, is you make them feel a certain way, and that's what they crave. That's what they come back for. So ditch it, right? When people tell me they're spending $40,000 on a machine, I'm like, how many services do you even have to do to break even for that month, right? It's just, to me, like, your hands are just the best tools on the planet. So yeah, that's the lesson, is invest in that from the start.
Agreed. Agreed. How do you ensure your services remain inclusive and cater to diverse client needs? Because we have such a wide range of skin types, conditions, and how do you address all that?
Yeah, so I just moved to Florida a couple years ago, and I just opened my spa. I had a 2 year anniversary, but when I came here, I had a very specific vision of the clientele that I wanted, and I completely manifested it. I mean, this was during a recession, and interestingly, for the last I've been a massage therapist for 28 years. For 24 of those years, I saw male clients, but when I moved to Florida, it's just like a different mind thought down here, and all the men coming in were just not the clients I wanted. So I had to cut my clientele in half. I started only seeing females while I was opening a new spa in a recession. So I had to be very specific in what I was manifesting and who I wanted walking through my door. And what I really focus on is middle-aged women, like my age, like me. I'm always trying to find what's going to be the best thing for me for age management. And when I can do that and share it with other people in my age group, right, that's going to be who I focus on. And yeah, so just having that clear vision really, 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 really helped me figure out what I wanted and how to get there
Did
instead of
you
trying to do
find
everything. Like I used to try to do everything, and now I just do one thing and I do it really well.
did you find that niching down like that has improved your service delivery, your ability to meet your clients' needs
For
and
sure. Yeah. If
expectations?
that's what you're doing all the time, like one of the things I do is intraoral temporal mandibular joint work, right? That. So like if you're doing that all the time, you're going to get really good at it. You're going to get very, very technical at it. So yeah, if I did it just like every 6 months, I wouldn't be the same. It's just like with reflexology. You can feel every single thing in the foot. The more you do it, the more you're going to, it's just a muscle, you learn it. And so, yeah, definitely niching down helped me. I'm even going to do it more so this year. I'm scaling back even more, and I'm going to focus just on scar tissue revision and a manual lymphatic drainage and TMJ. So that's what I'm going to be focused on for 2025. So bringing it down even further, right? It's kind of scary, but when you realize like 80%, well, a lot of people have TMJ, but those people who do, 80% of them are women. So when I've got all women on my table, a lot of them are going to have that. So even if they're coming in getting a facial and I can bring in that sinus work or that jaw work into it, yeah, it's definitely making me stand out. And again, just a service that is going to educate them. They're going to know why they're coming in. They're going to understand the benefits of it. And yeah, just being really niche and really small in my vision has helped a lot.
I think when you are able to niche down, your world opens up a lot more
Agreed.
as well.
100%. It's scary though, because you want to have something for everyone, but you can't do it all well. So, yeah. And so, once, like, what I've discovered is like, once you really do niche down, then the word starts spreading a lot quicker. This is the person you need to see for that. And so, yeah, it's worked well.
I love that. And then how do you measure success in your professional journey?
She gave us the questions that we wanted to answer tonight. And when that one popped out, I was like, this one is so prevalent because somebody was an esthetician came to see me the other day and she asked me this very question, like, how do you know when you're successful? And I said, girl, right? When I opened my door this morning, I said success, right? When I turned on my air conditioner and I still have, electricity in my place, that is success. When I've got clients walking in my door, it doesn't need to be X amount per month, but if I've got a client walking in that day is a success. So instead of trying to looking at the enormous picture, taking it bite-sized pieces, and this morning was a success. This facial was a success. This hour was a success. And that's how I view success. And it makes it just it makes me a whole lot more successful instead of saying, well, I didn't quite get to that number or whatever, right? No, if I have small successes, it's going to make me feel a whole lot better about myself.
And I think too, when you do that, you're walking in gratitude
100%.
every single day, and it makes you 100% aware because you've had a lot of professional challenges just in the last couple of months with storms and all these other things. So
Exactly. Flood, divorce, you name it. And I'm like just powering through, right? Just grateful for every client that walks in because they're going to make me less stressed. So yeah, it's a lot, but just definitely manifesting, keeping my focus, just servicing the people who I have now really, really well so that they want to come back. The business that I have is by referral only. You have to know somebody to referral you to get in. And I tell my people like do not send me a bad person because that's going to reflect on you and I don't want either of you here. So yeah,
yep.
I mean, I wanted to create a very, very small market that was like kind of like a cool kids club. And I've been fortunate to kind of do that.
I love that. I love that. Well, I
Yeah.
thank you for that. So you just hang on. We are now shifting our focus to Miss Elaine. Elaine, how do you see the skin games influencing future industry standards or practices?
Okay, first of all, I have to just say I love machines. So I was like, okay, we're gonna be like a little bit of rock and roll, a little country, a little
All
yin to the
the time.
yang.
There's no right or wrong.
I know, but you know what I love, because you know how big I am on machines. But what I call it is high tech, high touch. So yeah, you're right. Estheticians, because they think, okay, the machine can do the work, right? So when you incorporate because sometimes you can't do a facial massage when you're doing maybe an aggressive hydrofacial or dermabrasion or whatever the machine is, or creating heat in the tissue, then I'm going to do an incredible décolleté and shoulder massage, arm and hand massage, that high tech, high touch, right? And I also always say that results orientated treatments within the spa environment, because as you know, there are so many gadgets. I am even buying these stupid gadgets that they're selling on Instagram. I am like, there's something wrong with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, so I try out these gadgets, right? I think I should do a review of all of them. But they're like gym equipment, right? The clients aren't going to use them, but they do want to come because they do want results. And some of those machines do amazing things. And then you're right, you can do amazing things with your hands. But the hand skills are the most important part of the facial. So now, what was the question, Kelly?
How do you how do you see the skin games influencing future industry standards or practices?
Just because of the fact that these are estheticians from all over the United States, from all over the world, right? And we're all bringing our skills into one room. And these are also the top of the top, right? These are the creme de la, this is the cream, because these are people that are coming, bringing their A game, because they've worked on their skills to come to the skin games. It's also cost them something financially, time, everything, right? To be the best. And so when you see those skills, that is what they are taking home with them, skills that they've learned, relationships that they've built, and the networking with other industry professionals and vendors, right? And
Yes.
that is what's going to raise the bar, because we are saying, because I believe, like, I'm not going to live forever, right? So I'm handing over the torch to the next generation, basically. So if we don't say this is the standard, it's all going to go, to the gadgets on Instagram. We have to always say, this is the standard, guys. This skin games, this is the standard. And every year it's a new generation or a new group that comes through. And then some, of course, repeat or whatever. But that is what the standard is so high, but it's not like Skin Games has forced it. The estheticians, the therapists have come to the Skin Games with this incredible talent that they are sharing, and that people have to now aspire to, right? So that's what Skin Games is doing. It's bringing us together, but also saying that this is the level. Everybody needs to be at this level, and every year it gets better and better and better, and we all get to learn from each other. So that is what Skin Games is doing, and I'm very, very proud to be a part of the Skin Games. What little part I am, I'm not really a part of them, but just to be there and to help, and to see what Skin Games is doing.
I know I'm very, very excited to see what happens over the next few years. It's just gotten better and better and better every single year. And that's part because of the people that are involved and the people who they give their time, they give their effort, they give their energy. Because you judges, when they come forward, you all are giving your time and your expertise to really help other professionals, new and seasoned, get better, perfect their craft.
Yeah.
And that's what we want out there representing our industry to the general public. These are the people that we want showing the world who we are as professionals. Okay, next question for you is, what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned throughout your career as a skincare professional? You have been in this industry for how many years?
Well, I went to school when I was 18, and I'm 26 now.
So you've been 8 years plus
No,
fuel,
I'm
right?
57.
So
I'm
I know that you
57
have a
next year.
lot. You also have not just United States um, experience working. You've worked in 2 different countries. So share some of those insights as well.
Well, Kelly and I are both Sedesco and iTech, so it's kind of like, having that global standard. When I came to Atlanta, and I can't speak about other states, I can only speak about Georgia because I came from South Africa to Georgia, and there was only one esthetician school, and then there was, only 2 or 3 spas. One spa had 400 technicians. But so if people don't realize, how fast this industry has grown from now 3 or 4 different spas in one strip mall, a waxing spa, cryotherapy, so it's amazing how it's gone from you're a what, an anesthetist, an esthetician to and people would always get their hair done. But now on average, we're seeing $300 to $500 a month on skincare, not just on the hair care. So it's amazing how it has evolved. But the techniques have it's so funny. When I went to school, we didn't have all the machines now. So we had galvanic, and we had disincrustation and iontophoresis, and we had one wax. It was a hard wax, and we would reuse it because we would sieve it through a pantyhose, and then we would heat it up in and this is like not 1922, right? So we would heat it up in what you call like a frying pan, an electric frying pan. And we didn't have any acids whatsoever. Acids only came out in the 80s. So we had Gamage, and that was it. But we had beautiful techniques, absolutely magnificent. And I'm talking about body. We had the body wraps as well, and people used to come. So coming to Atlanta was a bit of a shock to me because there wasn't much going on, and I also just could see like my extensive cleansing routine and my extensive massage routine. And now, of course, it's gone from 0 to 100, the techniques I'm seeing now. But when I came, was a little stark there, Kelly, not gonna lie, right? Because I said to myself, because everybody was doing the same, so this effleurage and off, and effleurage and off, and I was like, what? There's so much more, and that is what I wanted to bring, was that more. And I had to teach myself microcurrent. I had to teach myself, and I wrote the training for microcurrent. I was the only one certified to do crystal microdermabrasion in Atlanta. That was when we were charging $200 for a crystal microdermabrasion. And this is 2000. This is 2002. This is not 1923, So what I've learned is consistency is really, really important, and learning. Always going to class. Even I learned the plasma pen. Do I love the plasma pen? Not really, but I mean, it's like I love to learn new skills, and then I learned laser, and then sometimes I can, what I loved about learning laser was really understanding and learning the Fitzpatrick scale, really getting that down and understanding what trauma does to the skin, right? And now this whole new learning of the skin microbiome that has totally opened my eyes to a whole different way of doing skincare. So that's what I think I really take with me, is you've got to never stop learning. So all this exfoliation we did, now we're learning about the microbiome and how you don't have to do that anymore. So I love how we're learning so much more of the science, and then we just like Zen said, that's why I'm doing it.
Yes, love that. I love that.
Yeah. So as we evolve,
it's important. Consistency and continuing education are 2 of my mantras. I live by those. I've built my entire business and career around being consistent and always being open to learning something. Do we have any questions for our panel judges here? We have lots of comments about Sedesco. We have lots of
Kelly,
comments
can
about.
I talk about the face massage part for a minute?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with the massage competition, we just started it last year and we did body massage and face massage, but for the 2025 competition in March, it is only going to be face massage and it's going to be held on Saturday morning. So everybody should be available for that time. So if you are considering this, you sign up in advance. It's just one style, so it's not broken down into different parts. Everybody's doing it together, side by side. There are 100 points available. It's broken down into 5 different categories, which include flow, expertise, innovation, ergonomics, and professionalism. And so we're going to be having 2 rounds this year. It's going to be starting with 5 minutes for setup. So your presentation is part of the judgment.
Then can I ask you a question? Just because I was there. Now I saw a lot of people when they were doing the facial massage, they did have tools. Are you allowing tools or is it just hands only?
Yeah, no, you can do tools, but nothing that plugs in. So a lot
Okay.
of people did cupping, gua sha, energy, all kinds of different things.
Okay.
You'll have 5 minutes to get set up for that. And then last year, you were able to choose the model. This year, the model is going to be chosen for each of the players. And then it's going to be a different model for each round. There's going to be 2 rounds. It's going to be our preliminary round and then finals. And then very exciting, the awards are going to be at the red carpet event show at night. So it is going to be first, second, and third place for face massage. And Joe is on, I don't know if he's still here, but he won last year. And it really has changed his life a lot. Is kind of when you are winning in any of these fields, I mean, even to be a finalist is huge. I was a finalist back in, was 8, 9 years ago, but I mean, it changed me. It gave me the confidence that I needed, and this will too. So it is not all about winning, but if you do win it, it is life changing. But it's really coming about learning, watching Joe work, watching all these people do these amazing face massages. You are going to learn and making connections as well. One of the thing that is changing this year is it is not going to be allowed intraoral. So last year it was allowed. It will not be allowed this year.
Got it. Okay. And you do not have to be a licensed massage therapist for
No,
facial
this is for
massage.
Ellie or a massage therapist.
Right.
But you do need to be licensed and insured.
You can be a massage therapist
Correct.
and enter, but estheticians are licensed to do facial massage. So no, you do not. And I believe, isn't Joe a judge
Competing.
this year?
Joe is competing again.
Oh, Joe is competing again.
Joe
Oh,
is competing.
Oh my
Oh.
God. Bring on the A
So,
game.
I want to be Joe's model. Then
yeah. So that reminds me. So if anybody does want to be a model, you're going to know the times that you're going to be a model, and so you need to come prepared this year because there's no changing rooms. But if you would like to be a model, please reach out to me, Zen Miller, and let me know, and I will get you on the list of models. I don't have anybody on the list, so you guys are the first one on the list. So if you want to know, message me.
all right, there you go.
Because I was a judge last year, I could give you a little bit of insight if that's okay, Kelly, because there was a lot of, there was a lot of people that did have some of the gadgets, some of the rollers, some of the stones, whatever, but they didn't use them. So, some of the contestants came up to me afterwards and said, well, give me some feedback. And I was fine. I said, well, you had all of these tools, but you didn't use them. So if you are going to use them, use them. But if you're not going to use them, then don't have them. It's just, I mean, there was no points taken away, but just, I was like, well, they were just there for show. You know what I mean? So that's just one observation that I had from last year. And then if you are going to think you're going to join in, well, then I would just go to Joe's website and I would YouTube and I would just look.
Joe, you're gonna have some competition
you
this year.
you better bring
People
some
are
new
coming for you.
techniques because
you have
all
a
know
fan
where
club.
you are.
See, and Joe, that is your experience with the Skin Games, is that he's made an impression and connections that go far beyond just the competition. So don't get discouraged just because you don't win or you don't have the outcome that you necessarily want. He did in this case, but Joe, you've really, you've made a lasting impression, not just on other players, but on our panel experts as well. And that is something that is priceless. Developing and maintaining those relationships are huge. Okay, so we have some questions. Facial massage is more than just a technique. It requires a solid foundation of knowledge. Can you share what kind of training or certifications are necessary to ensure both effectiveness and client safety? Simply because we do see a lot of stuff out there on social media, things like that. There's lots of information. How do you know what's legit and what's not? What do you look for?
I
Whoever
don't
wants to take it.
understand this question.
Okay.
Are you saying like if somebody's coming in doing some weird thing, what do you do about it?
Oh, no. How do you know what kind of training or certifications are necessary to ensure both effectiveness and client safety? As a professional, if I'm looking to get training, what do I need to look for to make sure that training is legitimate?
Oh, this isn't for the competition.
No,
No,
just
this is
that they want to
just in
learn more
general.
techniques.
For face massage.
Yeah, I would say go
yeah,
to a
I-
licensed person. Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely tell everybody, do your research. I mean, do your research. There's a lot of people out there selling stuff. I see it all the time, people doing techniques that are not appropriate. They're people that can cause a lot of damage out there. So I tell everybody, do your research, ask questions.
Zen, how long is the competition? How long do you have to massage for? Did you say?
So it's going to be 5 minutes setup, 5 minutes to get your model in and ready, and then a 25-minute service. And during that service, it's going to include face, it includes scalp, it can include ears, neck, décolleté, arms, hands, and forearms. So it can include everything in that 25 minutes.
And then they can sign up on the website, right?
Yes. And if you are considering it, you need to do it, I think before the 15th, if you want to get your name and your bio into the program, right, Kelly?
Yes, tribute journal.
Yes. So so you sign up, it's just one category for it. And like I said, 2 rounds.
Two rounds.
Okay.
Do you need to be a licensed massage therapist to compete in this category?
No.
No, just license. You did a licensed esthetician or licensed massage therapist. Every professional has those standout moments that shape their careers. Can you share an experience, whether rewarding or difficult, that taught you something valuable about working hands-on with clients? Either one of you.
Me? Well, can I share my story about the skin games? Like the skin games changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my career, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you, why I'm leading this program now. But I was living in Seattle for a long time, just sitting in my own treatment room. And then one day I'm on social media, and actually I think it was Taylor maybe reached out to me and said, "Hey, we got this thing going on." And all I had to hear was the word competition. And I was like, yes. And I threw myself 1,000% into it. And I went there. This was when it was held in California. And I was so prepared to win, walk away with that. Like in my mind, I'd visualized it, all of it. And I didn't win a thing that night. And I cried. I couldn't even talk for like 2 days. I cried so hard because I put so much into it, but it changed me. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do bigger. Like this was a step, like a most humbling stepping stone ever. But it really set me on a mission to be like, okay, no, I can do better. So So the connections that I've made from the skin games, it's been like almost a decade now, and it is life changing. So if you are considering competing, like if you're not already in it, like put yourself out there. Like it's so absolutely worth it. Not sit back and just be like, oh, maybe next year, maybe I'll do it next year. Just do it, right? Just put yourself out there. You'll be so happy you did.
Love that. Okay, Elaine, I'm going to ask you this one. No two clients are the same. How do you customize your approach during a facial massage session to address individual concerns and provide the best possible experience?
So first of all, it's the touch and the feel of the texture of the skin, the thickness of the skin, the bone structure, and of course that consultation. I mean, we could back up to the consultation, right? And the first thing I ask the client is, what would you like to change about your skin? Right? That open-ended question. What would you like to change about your skin? And then during the massage, I'm going to adapt my pressure to what I'm feeling. And then of course, because the thinner the skin, the thicker the skin, thinner the muscle, the thicker the muscle, the face shape, the bone structure. And then I'm also going to ask the client, how is my pressure? Right. I know I have, because in general, I have quite a heavy pressure because I don't like any of this. I tell my students, I don't like any of this airy fairy business. Okay. No, none of this airy, really not. I have a very firm pressure. So some people like it and some people don't. So that's why I have to check with my client if they're okay with my pressure. Right. And then to really lift and tone the face is important as well to see a difference. So those are my big things. And also I really do an extensive facial massage, 15 to 20 minutes in a facial service. I've go to so many facials and the facial massage is 5, 8, 10 minutes. I'm like, the same with the cleansing routine. My cleansing routine, which is a fast massage, is 7 minutes. Because I always say, clients can cleanse their skin at home. They can do not the massage, but so why are they coming to you? Right? And the other thing that I like to do during the massage is there's always something that's slightly different. There's always something that I do, and then the client's like, oh, it's not over yet. Hasn't finished yet. Especially when it comes to the end of the facial, because they know when you put the moisturizer on that it's the end. Because I say it's not, everything will be right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not yet the end. So I always make sure, that's a very famous Indian proverb. Yes. I always make sure that there's a massage technique at the end of the facial. So what I like to say is when you've finished a facial with me, it's almost like getting a full body massage, because what haven't I done? Right? I mean, if you think about it, except for maybe a thigh, right? Because, I do feet as well. The hands, the feet, the arms, the décolleté, the scalp. I go right underneath. That's one of my favorite ones, to go right underneath and pull back at the end of it. And just, I always say when you're doing somebody's face, or when you're doing a facial, when you're doing massage, it's no longer their face or body. It's mine. I own their face and body for that 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, right? So I really move that around, move the head, move the body. That is so important, because estheticians are kind of like stuck like this, right? And so they really need to that. I think ergonomics is not taught enough in school either, right? So those are my big things when I'm doing a facial. I think the massage is the most important part of the facial. I really do.
Love that. I love that. And I think, Zen, you're the same, because you do a lot of ergonomic videos and stretching for professionals to make sure that they're keeping their body in shape to continue delivering the best possible service.
If anybody here is broken down, come out to my page, the Zen Lounge. I am a Pilates instructor, so I teach you how to stop repetitive motion injuries. If you've got thoracic outlet syndrome or carpal tunnel syndrome or nerve pain or eye strain, whatever it is, I teach you how to take care of yourself in your treatment room. So come on out and find me.
Love that. Okay. This one I want both of you to answer, and whoever goes first is fine. Looking ahead, what innovations or advancements do you think will shape the future of facial massage, and how do you see this part of the industry evolving in the years to come? So it's future forwarding, future focused, because our theme this year is the future is now. So there you go.
I can't wait to see Zen's dress for this one.
Oh yeah, I know, they're crazy. Well, I'll give you my spin on this one. I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast, and it was literally like stepping back in time 20 years. So I kind of feel like I've got a pretty good idea of what the future is, just because I've kind of been living it for a while. And I'm going to say Korean skincare is truly going to take over the world. Like their techniques and they're just so beautiful, their styles, their massage techniques, and they've got really innovative ingredients and modalities. So I'm going to say the future is going to lean into Korean skincare.
Elaine?
I think we're going to move forward with a lot more touch. And I think that there's going to be a lot more autoimmune disorders that are coming, a lot more skincare disorders due to environmental, food, inflammatory responses to the environment. That is what I've seen so much more now, and I think it's going to be even more. I think that we have only scraped the surface when it comes to looking at what's going on with the skin, and instead of, you know, I always say if you torture the skin, you end up with tortured skin. I mean, it's just the way it is, and I think that you know we've over peeled, and so I think as we start to learn more, we're going to be more focused on what is happening with the skin, what microbes are missing, what can we feed the skin, right? And how is the skin going to behave differently if we find what microbes are missing and be able to put that back into the skin. I think that that's really going to change. So that the pulse effect that I've always talked about, you know, being able to break up some of those more aggressive treatments, milder peels more often, you're still going to see the same great results, but you're going to be very cognizant of what these, because they are now realizing that eczemas and acnes are not what they thought. So I think the more science we learn, I think we're going to be adapting our treatments, and the more lymphatic drainage. You know, that's where I think we're going, and I'm very, very happy that the knowledge is coming.
I'm excited. And, you know, you'll have those continuing education courses offered at your school. And Zen, I know you offer training as well. So that's one of the those two things are just, they could go hand in hand. Is
Yeah. Elaine, you and I, we need to
consistency
collaborate.
and continuing education.
Yeah,
Always,
in my spare
always.
time. So but yeah, we're a Sedesco school. So if you're interested in Sedesco, we offer it at the school. But they offer it all, regardless of what state you are, have a look, because they offer it all over America, not just my school. I'm just a big fan of Sedesco, regardless of what school you go to. But any continuing education, I think it opens up your world and really makes you dig deeper into your craft.
It does. It really does. And that's the other thing too, is that you all are judges. Elaine, you're judging in skin this year, not in the massage category. And Zen, you have judged in skin, and now you're leading the massage category. So you do this, participating in the skin games, regardless of the outcome, right? It's a huge, huge learning experience. So it's kind of like it's a self-proclaimed continuing education series that lasts a whole entire year, through your case studies, to coming to the live event and experiencing and networking and doing all of those things. And it is something that will literally change your life. Yeah, your response, Zen, to entering the skin games was the exact opposite of mine. Mine was, I could never do anything like that. And my husband said, why not? And then I got called out by another mentor of mine that said, do this. And I did. And it has just completely opened my world. I met you, Zen. Yes.
Can I tell you one thing? This is in regards to your story, but this will tell you how crazy I am. I was watching Squid Game, the challenge on Netflix, and most people would say, "Oh, I could never do that." And I looked at it and said, "Oh, I could do that." So I applied, and I'm going to be on the next season. Netflix, yeah. So yeah, filming starts January, and at the end of January in England. So I'm going to be gone for a month.
Nice.
That's so cool.
See, and there are just these things where you just never know.
You put yourself out there in a crazy situation.
Put it out there, do it, and you know, let yourself be vulnerable.
Hey, Kelly, get this. On Squid Game, there's no phone, internet, TV, music. There's no hair products. There's no skincare products, and there's no makeup. So I've never gone without makeup in my life, and now I'm going to be on national TV. So I got to get my skin up to par. Oh
you
my
I love
God.
that.
Or Zane,
I'm
you could
gonna
always
die.
come to the Elaine Sterling Institute and I could give you a facial while you're in Atlanta.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Well, I thank you so much to all of our judges for their time and their valuable insights. I learned a lot today, and I thank you so much for honoring me with your time. All of you, all of the participants who came. I think that our first session of the Judges Insight series was a huge success. And conversations like these help raise the bar in our industry and inspire our next generation. And make sure that you check out our YouTube. This will be there so you can watch it again. And I thank you very, very much. Next week, we have PMU and our Lash and Brow judges. So be sure to check that out. And I will see you all soon. Take
In
care.
March, yeah, I can't even wait. Wait, wait. Bye, everybody. Bye.